the member's time has expired.
Speaker.
I call Ian McKelvey.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, family violence, sex abuse and elder abuse are three of the most dastardly of crimes that I can think of. And I think anything we can do to deal with a crime, with the partial protection of a victim, and even with the rehabilitation of an offender has got to be positive. And it was earlier Alfred Naro who said that this is not the answer to the problem, it's a piece of the answer, and I'm quite sure it is. And I just wanted to pick up on a couple of points that have been made, and I have to agree with Kelvin Davis. I think that the issue around having a public register for this would just be far too dangerous, in my view, for both the victims of this crime. It would preclude, in many ways, I think, a satisfactory resolution or a satisfactory opportunity to rehabilitate sexual offenders. And I think that whatever we think of these people, we have to give them an opportunity to rehabilitate into our communities and to lead a life as normal as possible. So I certainly support the fact that this register is not public. I think it's common sense in many ways. I also just wanted to very briefly refer to some comments that David Clendon made earlier on, where he thought this was a very expensive way of dealing with this issue, and we could do a lot more with that money. I think whatever we do in public policy around this type of offending is always going to cost us a lot of money. And as I said myself earlier, I think that picking up the bits of it, making it all work, we don't know what's going to be effective sometimes when we put these bits of legislation in place, but collectively they all play a part in it. So, Mr Speaker, I certainly, what experience I have in this field, I certainly support this bill. I think it's a very useful piece of legislation. I think it will play a part in what can only be considered to be one of the worst types of crime I think people could commit against a human being. So, Mr Speaker, I support this bill as it becomes law. Thank you.
Call Peter Williams.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.